actually going to be happy, and that is why you exist. Because at the end of the day, when you actually think about it, everything you do is for pleasure. I'm not talking about hedonism or anything like that. I'm just using pleasure as a positive state being the combination of your thoughts, sensations in your body, and emotions. Those combine to make up your state. Your entire life is nothing but a series of state changes from birth until death. Every single human wants to be in as positive state as possible. And that would be like a bliss state. Even people who do horrendous acts do it because they get some type of warped, twisted sense of pleasure from it. Because they have a warped, twisted reality through trauma, basically. But ultimately, everyone would choose a bliss state, right? If there was a pill with no side effects that would put you into bliss every day, everyone would choose that. And money and women and all the other things would no longer matter because you would naturally have access to that constant state of bliss. I believe that's what the state that the awakened beings, Christ, Buddha, return to. Unfortunately, that type of awakening, that type of escape from the matrix is not very common and not easy to come by, per se. So what I offer to you is the game of life, the middle ground between sort of the ascetic and the material, between, living in a monastery or something and pure, empty, hedonistic materialism, with the idea that you are trying to maximize the bliss, the enjoyment that you get out of life, because you're already fucking doing that anyways. Everybody around you is trying to do that. Everyone around you is trying to move towards pleasure and move away from pain. It is human nature. Every single action you take, thought, word you speak, you're trying to move towards something that's going to interest you. A romantic relationship, money, nice weather, having a conversation with a friend. That's all to feel good. You feel good when someone's, being nice to you and you're having fun. You feel good when you're laughing. You feel good when you have something interesting to read. You feel good when you're outside in nice weather. You feel good when you're making money because it increases your success and the amount of things that you can buy and your freedom. You feel good when you have a romantic relationship because you can give and show love. What's the common thread here is that you feel good, all right? Even people who are unhappy are still trying to feel good, but they don't get to pleasure, but they're at least trying to move away from pain, okay? And if you don't believe me, how many people are just putting knives through their legs, right? Nobody, right? Nobody wants that kind of pain. And if they do, it's because they have a warped sense of pleasure where they like to hurt themselves, and that gives them a sense of pleasure, a masochist. But it's still pleasure that they're chasing. It's still that I shouldn't use pleasure, I should say a state of enjoyment. Whether that state is interest, whether that state is love, whether that state is, all these things. Everybody wants to feel physically healthy. Everybody wants to feel happy. Everybody wants to get enjoyment out of life. So happiness is already your everyone's primary priority, but most people are absolutely shit terrible at pursuing it and live unconscious lives and are completely unaware and don't make it a conscious priority like profit in business, right? Like the business is profitable, that's the primary priority, and you're trying to increase revenues year over year and you're measuring that revenue year over year, okay? A business is way less important than your personal happiness levels. The whole fucking point of the business is to increase your personal happiness level so you don't have to work a job and you can have freedom and you can buy all the things that you want, okay? So happiness is the end goal. Consistent, like being in as best possible state, as consistent as possible is the entire purpose of what everyone's doing here, regardless of what they say. Regardless of what they say. Everybody's trying to be in a good state as much as possible. But most people are just shit terrible at it. And they're unconscious, they're unaware, and they have no guards around their state. Like if state was a castle, they have no guards. They're pulled away by politics. They're pulled away by, getting angry over Trump or Hillary or any of these other things. Or they're pulled away by someone says something to them. Or they're pulled away by a news story. Or they're pulled away by something their mom said or whatever. And they go into anger, they go into envy, they go into depressed, they go into all these other areas. Not because they want to be angry. Nobody wants to be angry. No one wants to be depressed. No one wants to be all these things. And believe me, it's a daily struggle for me just as it is for you. But I at least know what the fuck I'm trying to do, right? Just like in business, I'm trying to make a profit. In life, I'm trying to be in the best possible state at all times. And I'm committed. I'm firmly committed to that. I've been able to let go of so much baggage and reframe so many situations simply for the fact that I just think to myself, hey, I don't want to be angry right now. Hey, I don't want to be sad about this. Hey, I don't want to be a victim, because bad things happen to victims. I don't feel good when I'm a victim. I don't feel good when I'm sad. I don't feel good when I'm angry, right? I can let go of things in 2 minutes that used to take me 2 days to get through. My state control when I was 18, 19, 20 was terrible because I didn't know it was a fucking thing. Right? It wasn't until I started reading Buddhism and I started reading Tony Robbins that I figured out, like, wow, you actually have massive control over how you feel. Feelings do not come to you. Feelings are not imposed on you. Feelings are controlled by you. Every feeling you have comes from you. Therefore, you can control every single feeling. You can manage your entire reality. You can manage your entire state regardless of circumstance.